Hello there, welcome to the Generational Gamer. Today I am going to talk about my experience with the Steam Deck. I got one, made some videos, enjoyed time with it, but ran into two major problems. Now allow me to illustrate one of them on a Series X controller. So it uses this button naming, okay? The first time my right button, not the trigger, the button was unresponsive in most places. Like I had to press it in just the right spot, usually like right at the tip, like right here, as opposed to anywhere else. At the time I was playing Jedi Fallen Order primarily, and it wasn't really a critical button for heavy action. So I didn't really notice it too much. But then I started playing other games on the console as well, and immediately noticed that this button isn't working properly. Valve, for their part, they're very responsive, and I have to really give them kudos for the way they operate. They were very good and very quick to try to resolve the issues. Now, you can't resolve everything, particularly electronically, so they did issue an RMA to get it sent back so it could be fixed. But mine did not go to Valve, it went to some third party. I don't know whether they're a good third party or not, but that R1 button, it worked. Ran into another problem shortly after using it for a bit, and that was the APU was locked at 400 megahertz. The GPU I think was at 200. I started doing some research, trying to troubleshoot it, trying to figure out what this thing was doing. Finally, out of a point of desperation, I emailed Steam again, and I let them know what was going on. They gave me some troubleshooting tips. I, of course, did it. They wanted to see a definitively Steamdeck approved game, so I showed them video of God of War misbehaving, because that's the game I started playing on there. And you could clearly see this game was struggling to keep up. Of course it was. 400 megahertz versus, what I think it's 2 point something gigahertz. It's like going back in time 10 years trying to play a game on it from today. Wasn't gonna happen. Anyway, they issued me another RMA. Now, allow me to tell you briefly about the RMA process. So, if you've never sent your Steam Deck back for repairs, they send you a prepaid sticker. So, it goes via UPS, and it takes about a week to get to its destination. About another week to get it repaired or replaced, and then another week to send it back to you. So, it's roughly a 3-week period. That's all fine, well, and good, assuming you don't have another problem. I had another problem. The other thing is, before you send it, because you don't know if you're getting a replacement unit, you have to take everything that you've added to the system, whether it be a sticker, whether it be an SSD, because you can update it. And I was up front, I did tell them I changed out the SSD. That wasn't the issue, but they were made aware of it since it was open. But you also even have to take off the screen protector, but then of course you also have to return to factory settings. After that, you box it up, put it in the case it came in, including that Steam Deck Switch-like case. Put it in there, put it in the box it came in if you have it, otherwise use something similar, and then ship it back with the UPS sticker on it. Okay, did that. About a week later, get notice that they have it. Another week later, get notice that they're sending mine back. A week later, actually get it. And then start working on it, rebuilding everything, because you have to reinstall everything unless you make a Clonezilla backup. By the way, you can do that, and it does work. If you've never used Clonezilla before, think, if you're an IT, think Ghost, but Linux-based, and it does the entire drive. You can also upgrade using that way. Restore smarter, not harder. Anyway, all that being said, when my device returned and it still wasn't working, I did just wipe it out, reinstalled everything, put it back to as normal as possible, and still had issues. Finally, I reach out to Steam. I let them know that I am exasperated from all this troubleshooting, because I spent an entire day just screwing with this thing. And by the time I was finished, I was done. I was at that point now where I didn't even want to look at it anymore. Would I consider another one? Possibly. I possibly would consider getting a revision unit. But right now, I'm not interested in Steam Deck. I still have plenty of games. In fact, at the same time when I got the Steam Deck, I bought this little Beelink computer. And I'll leave a link for it. I bought it off of Amazon. It's a solid little thing. It's about the size of an Apple TV. My hand, it will fit in the palm of my hand. It's small enough. And it does almost everything the Steam Deck does, at least power-wise. Short of the APU is not quite as strong, doesn't have as much RAM, it has a shitload more storage space, and it also is not portable. So all things considered, it works out pretty well, and it's small. I can sit it next to, I mean, it's about the size of a Switch controller, maybe a little smaller. So it's pretty solid. So I've been using that to play my Steam, my Epic, my GOG games, and that's fine. But I also decided, you know what, I think it's time to go for a PS5. I have a Series X, I have a Nintendo Switch, let's try the PS5, and I've really been enjoying that. And after dealing with the troubleshooting, seeming like endless troubleshooting with the Steam Deck, I am happy that now I can just simply turn it on, play some games, and then put it to rest, and then go do something else. So all in all, I'm kind of glad the Steam Deck's gone now. But getting back to the Steam Deck itself and the Valve response, they were pretty responsive. At first, when I told them about the 400 gigahertz, they were like, all right, well, let's do some troubleshooting. Okay, did the troubleshooting. They wanted to see evidence with the details on the screen, because you know you can put the clock speed and all the details of the console on the screen to get the analytics, for lack of better words, of how the game is processing. So I did, and I used God of War because I wanted one that was Steam Deck verified. And I sent them some video. I even sent them a couple pictures and stills of it. And you could see the thing was not playing it properly. Anyway, they said, look, I know you've had some issues. We will go ahead and replace it for you if you'd like. I replied, I said, while I appreciate that, if it at all be possible, how about a refund? So maybe 20 minutes later, I get another email from Steam. They said, all right, we have canceled out the first RMA to get a replacement, and we have issued an RMA to get a refund. If you've never worked with Steam before, they have a ticketing system which shows you every previous conversation. Again, they knew that I had opened my console. They were still willing to do this. In any case, I was thrilled. Once I knew I was getting the refund for that, that's when I got the PS5. Been far less stressful. I can just enjoy the games. So, for at least the immediate future, I am not a PC gamer. I will play some. I have a shitload of them because I bought a bunch of games, and then I got a bunch of them for free through these bundles that I can play on my Beelink. But as far as getting a Steam Deck, maybe on a revision. But right now, I'm perfectly happy with just sticking with my consoles. Anyway, let me know what you think, leave some comments below, and have a good one!